acknowledge something very important before we even start here. And that's why you're here. You're not here because of my beautiful face. You're not here because of this amazing place. And you're not even here because of this class, because we don't even know yet if it's going to be awesome and serve you, or it might not serve you. We don't know. You're here because of yourself, because of you. Somehow, when you read about this, who told you about this, you saw something or you understood something within yourself that meant, oh, I might get something out of this. So let's acknowledge that. Let's look at ourselves. Ooh, kudos for me. So a hand for yourself for being here. You might ask yourself, who does she think she is to be talking about this kind of thing? I am just another human being, like all of you. I am just another camera operator, like a lot of you. I started, this was a thing that is of course for me, as being this size and I want to do camera and carry heavy stuff, and then Steadicam, and I'm not happy with the heavy stuff, let's make it heavier. And then you have, especially in the year 2000, where back in Brazil where I lived before moving here, there's no other women doing this. So we tend to think, oh yeah, I'm gonna look at my references, people. I thought to myself, well, I don't have other women doing Steadicam. There was no other women operating Steadicam in Brazil at the time. And then I was finding how I'm gonna do, and then I realized reference should be ourselves. Me yesterday. If of course we have our idols and people that we love, and absolutely are gonna watch their movies and see what they're doing and try to do the same and even better. But there is a special point that we have to pay attention a little bit more. So all about this class here is, let's go back into ourselves, because we have it there. It's within. And then I kind of became a researcher for this thing for myself. Oh, okay, so after I started Steadicam, I always did yoga. This is when I started each one of these things. I keep doing all of them. So just so that I have a reference. FMS is the Functional Movement Systems. I got so into it that I went to study physical therapy, and I'm gonna touch back on this, how I went through all the elements of human beings. I know the name is body awareness, but it's all layers of our bodies, not physical body only, emotional body, mental body. So we're gonna touch a little bit in all of this. So this story, this trajectory since Brazil, operating camera, and then I used to practice yoga. And after a while, actually, of camera operating, I started realizing and putting things together, how my physical practice, which was yoga, bike, acro yoga, other things. Just a parenthesis here, I'm not going to try to sell yoga to anyone. Don't worry if you don't like it. Don't worry. This is just presenting myself. So I start realizing how that understanding of my body, it's not yoga per se, how knowing what I'm doing and paying attention to the details. Oh, I heard some cue from that. I changed teacher. Tomorrow's a different teacher. They said the same thing in a different way. Now I can do this thing, this crazy handstand or whatever crazy that I could never do for 10 years, and now I can do it. Whoa! So there's much more to the awareness of yourself than the physical. And that's why I'm not going to live here in the physical one. And that's how my story went by. One thing started taking to the next. So I do acro yoga, is practicing yoga movements on top of someone else. So it involves a little bit more, which helps us a lot with Steadicam, because it's like full awareness of balancing bodies. So what do we do, even if you don't operate Steadicam, you carry stuff. So the smarter you are within yourself to carry things, longer you're gonna last in our career. I'm not claiming oh, I know everything about this subject, that's why I'm here higher than you all. Actually, there's something about the educational system that I want to change. I want to change this. I keep this format right now, but these courses, they're all gonna be no, we're all together and I am sharing my experience. But I'm here not because I did tons of physical therapy and yoga, a lot of courses of everything, including the mental portions, psychology and neurobiology, to put things together, and then it served me in a way that I started seeing how this works in general. So there's going to be a big differentiation here, and that you guys will pay attention. There's stuff that's like for humans. Everyone is, we're all, I don't care what color, language, or country, place you were born, everyone's human. Everyone has bones. Everyone here, at least 2 legs, 2 arms, a head. This is human being. We have that, general. And we have the individual that's only yours. From here, so the study and this body awareness research that I do, it takes so many things that we're not paying attention that we can bring and attach to the individual. Only you have your iris design. Only you have your fingerprints, right? 8 billion plus people on this planet. Only you have the collection of things that you carry. The cool thing about being a researcher on body awareness is that I carry around 24/7 my object of study. If I was studying octopus, I had to go to the ocean, right? So I carry full-time my object of study. So it's really cool because I get to test. Oh yeah, and I was gonna say, I get to test things myself. I'm still doing this. Like, it's not like, oh, I know everything about this and now I am presenting to you. No, it's sharing my experience and sharing the things that I know they work through this general point of view, and how slowly, by identifying and starting to know ourselves better, we can apply what serves each one of you. It's going to be completely different. So that's the biggest challenge here on this thing, because it's a drive to, hey guys, we can do this. We can start together. You can keep going while you're by yourself, while you're suffering, sweating, carrying your camera or not, or at home carrying your kid, or traveling carrying cases. It's everything, not only carrying, also because we're going to touch other realms of awareness, of human awareness, also how your emotions and mental aspects and belief systems and everything affects your physical, and how you slowly but surely can make it better. I mean, I'm not gonna, me or any medical doctor, anyone can deliver, here's your pill of whatever, be 100% today. We already know that doesn't exist, right? So there are things you can get results in a very short term. There are other things you can get results in medium, kind of time-wise, and other things it's a long term, and that's amazing. It takes time, and it's awesome that some things will take time, you know, the commitment. So there's that. The story about studying body awareness started pretty much 24 years ago, and it keeps going. And I never consider myself. I'm always kind of starting. I'm always in this point of view of like, I can leave so much more room for improvement. There's always room for improvement. Disclaimers are already it's already part of the deal here, part of the content. So warning, reflections, that's why I didn't know what name to put it. I am not a medical doctor, as you probably already know. So therefore, I'm not allowed to give medical advice, and we're not doing that here. So you understand that. I'm sharing partially comes from a personal experience, but then I start realizing, oh, okay, this serves, this works, and we can apply this. I'm going to invite you all now. This is our first exercise today. It's mental. We are what we are today because I am formed by matter, and I'm formed by the stuff that I believe, the stuff that my parents, the previous generations believed and passed through. My place where I was born, the weather on the place where I was born makes me see and experience things in different ways. I came from Brazil. I experienced the water of the ocean here, super crazy cold to me. For you guys, for the one who was born here, it's not cold. So everything from your past molds, and it is what you are today. So your background, your bag of stuff, that's amazing. That's who you are. Let's honor that. But today, for this class, maybe you can do the same exercise in in a new job, completely different, everything new in this new job for you, whatever, or different learning experiences. Why am I asking? Put everything in the little bag and a little luggage, and we're gonna leave it there on the corner for now. I'll explain during the process here why we're doing this. And one of the reasons is because we live in this 3 or 4 dimensional world that we live, we interact with things in a dual way. What does that mean? We react to whatever experience, your family member conversation with you, your person in the next job, or any kind of experience, relationship with people, experience, physical experience. We interact with these things, we respond to these things in only 2 ways. Either you like it, and then, nice, I want to have it. Your exercise, you want that. Or you dislike it. We're funny human beings. Because we could just, I don't like this, fine, let it be. I'm just going to live with the stuff I like. No, we want to spend energy. Keep that in mind because we're talking a lot about energy usage. We spend energy by building a wall. Oh, I hate this. And then you are driving in the freeway, accident. The car is right in the corner. It's not stopping any road or anything. You have traffic because everyone needs to go super slow because I want to see tragedy. Yeah, there's a chemical explanation about that in your brain. Yeah, our limbic system needs to recognize danger to protect us, blah, blah, blah. But now we can bring that information to our prefrontal cortex. We are thinking beings. So this invitation, it will serve, leaving a little bit of your background in the corner, will serve you to that too. But again, we have this kind of interaction with everything that we experience. Either I like it, and then I'm going to try to interact with that. The one you don't like, you're going to create that barrier. You spend energy here for some reasons. And that's why I'm saying this about your repertoire, your paradigms that you brought from your family and everything. We can, when we release a little bit of what forms me, I only take this decision based on my past experience. This is scientifically proven. It's not Aline saying that here. So I only take these decisions based on what I am and things that I believe. Originally, everything is meaningless. I'm not diminishing the thing. It carries no meaning. The experience, the event. I'm going to give you an example because I'm going like too crazy theoretical here, but the experience that comes to you, the mood of the whole crew in that movie that's making you feel pressure, what the director said, and I'm understanding what they said through my individual lens. And I'm reacting, yes or no, to what happened from an external source, taking those decisions based on what I am already. When I release some of that, experiment. I'm not saying this is important. We are what we are because of our past experience. This is important. But experiment, releasing some of that. What's going to happen, you start seeing how originally that external event was meaningless. Therefore, not requiring my reaction to loving or not loving or spending extra energy on the thing that I didn't love. Also, the amount of time we spend energy on the thing that you didn't like, you're not being productive on the film you're shooting. I want to be in the story. I want to connect with the actor. Why? Well, just think about it for a second. How many times on set this happened to you that you let something influence your decisions? Now your mind is on that thing that's bothering you. And you're no longer being productive on doing the simple thing that was just a walk and talk with the actor because mentally. So there's all these connections. So for today, and I invite you to try this on your next new experience, when new information comes to you. So what happens is when I started my research, of course I look at me, oh my God, I might not be able to do this, but I don't have the strength. And so I started with the physical aspects. I just need to be stronger. I just need to be more balanced. So I'm going to look for stuff. Now yoga is not giving me enough strength, so I go do gym. So I do my own figuring out. One thing leads to another, and that's another thing that I somehow, if you get inspired by this, try experimenting with these connections. So what these guys say, and they're my favorite because FMS, functional movements, is where I was certified to do the physical therapy portion of the stuff. They are physical therapists teaching other physical therapists. So Gray Cook. And their system of going around how you interact and develop your body always starts in this order. And we should carry this with us forever. Protect first. Why am I going to sign up to a gym or something? I don't know. I want to be stronger. I want to be better. I want to last those many hours on set. If I'm already, I've developed myself through my life with some asymmetrical patterns, things, and I'm going to start, we start developing first. I sign up to this gym and I want to be stronger without noticing before your prior structure. How am I carrying myself? Am I favoring more of every time, pay attention next time you're standing, doing nothing. Are you always on your right leg maybe? So what about, it's very tiny. This little subtle cues I'm going to give you here, start applying on set, on the life, and you see already your life's going to change. And just change, other side. That's it. Or I go to, I don't know, I work at home and I live in my place, always the toilet, bless you, the toilet paper's on this side. It's great. This is a crazy one. And one super duper important movement for anybody, any human, is the twist of your spinal column, right? And I always do this side. And then once you're going to test and you're going to say, oh my God, I am much more mobile to that side. How about changing something in your environment that now you're going to have to do this instead? You're already fixing patterns. It's that stupid. Oh, every time I go up, I have to go up this thing to grab whatever, and I always do right foot and right arm. How about tomorrow I do left and left at home? Because the first argument, I don't have time. Yes, we don't have time. We do other stuff. But you're going to make it on the things that you're already doing. Then you don't need the time. So first we protect. There's a Hippocrates. It's a nice one. Do no harm. Just do no harm to yourself. And we are doing it because we want to be the hero. You know, I'm operating the camera. It requires some weird stuff, and I go and do it without thinking. Hey, I just need the lens here. That's what they need. The director needs. I am the operator, the Steadicam operator. I know how to position myself. You know, whatever that is. It's the Apple box. Why do I need to do crazy? I'm carrying load, by the way. I need to be able to be mobile and do weird stuff and be round and blah. Not carrying load. When I'm carrying the camera and stuff, then of course I'm always going to think back straight because that's how it works more efficiently. This thing was designed to work more efficiently carrying stuff when it's straight. So we think protect first, then we correct. So there's many, like if you go to, let's say, oh, I like my gym or whatever, I have this coach, and they're doing corrective exercises. I always mention Liz Cash. I don't know if you probably heard of her. Physical therapist. She does correctives first. Then you first correct your patterns, then you're going to develop. So always we think moving well first and then often. Why am I going to move often and then I create more patterns on top of stuff that's already not serving me as well as it could? Is it going to kill me? Probably not. But why not? And all that we're talking about here is I have this amount of potential to reach. I have I could be a superhero, superwoman, super everything that I want. And we're using this. Why? If we can do more. This thing is made to move. Like Steadicam, I can mention here because there's plenty. This thing is made to move. It works, it improves, it gets stronger if you're moving it. But human bodies are not made to sit and be sedentary. This is when, as you can see, people that get sick and stay on bed, this is when things start shutting down. Other systems, they're not even related to movement or other stuff, they start shutting down because this machine was made to move. And the interesting thing about this is we are born perfectly designed and we do the things right. We instinctively breathe. I'm going to do an exercise here to show for us to remember how we know how to breathe correctly. So kids, look at any kid, 2, 3-year-old, They know how to breathe with their belly. The little belly goes in and out. So this is called diaphragmatically breathing. That means you take more air to the bottom of your lungs, it's more effective. They sit with their back straight. So we just forgot. We know all that instinctively. We had that. The way we grow up in society, our cars, our lives, our work, blah, 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 we start designing and developing new patterns to ourselves based on what you've done, our little bag of stuff. And then it becomes a lot less efficient than what it could be. So it's more of a matter of remembering a lot of this, by the way. And it's kind of cool because the tools and the access to these things are the easy ones. It's the awareness. That's it. Go back within ourself. Tell a lie enough times and then it becomes the truth, right? There's a saying. And I always heard in the beginning of my career, oh, this thing's going to hurt your back. Well, I've been 24 years doing this and my back is awesome. I have zero back pain. I have zero pain. Because I kind of like studying this thing too, but it's not just because of that. We all can do this. We all can find the ways to become more efficient. Even if you're already the Superman, you can always be better. Room for improvement. And when we start making mistakes on set, let's say we're already on the 14th hour and we start making mistakes, it's again that relationship in between mental, your emotions. We can take advantage and grow and find these little tools to find awareness to be more productive in whatever you love. Preferably, please make it the thing you love the most. My thing is moving my body through yoga, through bike. No. It's your thing. It's there. The thing that makes you smile, that makes you happy. It's a chemical, physical mechanism that happens in your brain as well. That's gonna attach to acquiring the knowledge and developing much, much more easier. So it's not, my background is yoga and all these trainings, but my reference things, but I cannot repeat this enough times. It's from what you're doing. Even, oh no, I don't like any physical practice. It's on set, it's on your job, it's in your home, it's doing the stuff you do every day. But always from a place of joy. If you find a place of joy, which for us, I'm guessing it's the film industry, that's also where we're gonna, the simple fact of putting stuff on cases, carrying cases, doing your thing, it's already where you can take. So we always think about improving efficiency with optimization. What's our best tool? Yourself. It should start with, I teach Steadicam workshops. So we spend, which is amazing, we spend a lot of time on the equipment, all the camera previous workshops that I took in my life too. We spend a lot of time there, but we don't address as much this in connection to what we do. So that's the whole goal here. We can access this as a tool as well. It's kind of cool how some of these things, some of the studies that I researched, they're 2015 to now. So we should be grateful that, hey, we're figuring new things out. Like, for example, one that for me was the most astonishing, we can make new neurons. The whole thing, the system in our bodies that I love the most is the nervous system. Because it's what commands everything. Physical movement, your thoughts, your emotions, everything is your neurological system. Everything is happening. Even if it's an abstract, we're talking about emotions, it's happening parallel. There is a thing that happens in your body physically and chemically that's driving that thing to happen. When I read about this, it's not so long ago, guys, we have so much room, we have so much to do. Even, we're not scientists, I know I'm getting there, but we're not scientists. It's here, it's in real life. We can generate new neurons. That's a big deal. Because once you know that for real, it's in a little beautiful place in our brain called hippocampus. That's super cute. And just with that, and there's epigenetics. We know now that the stuff that you do, and why am I saying this? You are taking care already of your kid that was not born yet. We can change what your genes are doing just by changing a little bit of your actions, of the stuff, how you do it, improving efficiency. You're going to change next generations. So it's actually a bigger deal than just, oh my God, I thought I was here to just take care of myself, while you're actually taking care of your next generations as well. So like I said, as kids, we were born with this knowledge. Kids, humans, We're born with a movement, they call it at the FMS, movement literate. We know stuff. Kids know how to fall without hurting themselves. They know everything, right? We are born movement literate, and then we go to school to learn how to read and write. And then at school, and that's why I want to change the educational system, we sit in chairs. And then we stick to the stuff that society's been doing forever in the name of comfort. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, there's that. But we're not developing by being comfort in the two ways. And comfortable for my body, and that's making us stay in the comfort zone. And the moment we all know that the moment you start jumping out of your comfort zone is where you grow. What we're doing here, working with the body awareness, I have to bring it back to be conscious. I used to do it all perfectly. Now I train to be regular stuff that I do in my job. I bring back to be conscious, like breathing. Breathing is, we're going to touch on breathing because key number one to open the doors to a new life. Breathing. It means everything. So now I know breathing is from the autonomous nervous system. You're going to breathe no matter what. Even if you're sleeping, passed out, you're going to breathe. So your body, your heart's going to beat, your stomach's going to work. This is autonomic nervous system. It's going to do it. And there is the other one that you control. But breathing is the most special one because it is automatic, but I can control it too through breathing exercise. I can change the rhythm. I can breathe longer. Use this tool on set. Stressful moments, crazy long lenses, slow walks, and that kind of craziness. Or even directing, you have to be aware of everything that's happening around you, 360 degrees. Now you access in a different way. You reduce the extra energy that you're spending with the stuff that you didn't like. So now let's start spending energy with the stuff that I like without preconceiving the meaning that I am attributing to this thing. They didn't come with the meaning. So we bring it back to unconscious. The more it was unconscious, I was breathing right, for example. This is one of the examples. I used to know how to breathe when I was a kid. I have to bring back to conscious. Now I'm going to do breathing exercise to bring it back to my awareness. Oh, this is how he does. Okay, fine. When you do this enough times, naturally, you don't have to do anything, I promise you. Your body understands. Now you start breathing, you have a bigger lung capacity. Just that, the amount of difference it's going to make in your life. So let's make it conscious, just to become unconscious again. This step is very important too, because I don't have the time to keep paying attention to my breathing during work, right? So what took me to this little upgrade in this course here, I didn't used to talk about that because that seems like an analogy. Okay, I'm talking about matter, that's earth. That's stuff, things that has beginning and end. It's a material, it's the chemical process that are happening inside your body. It's the camera that you grab and carry and it's heavy stuff. Water and going up in our physical bodies, it's a roughly, don't take this like, oh, that's it, water's here. No, calm down. It's more fluid than that. Water is your emotions. How do you feel, how you interact? And water is how you fluidly adapt to the new situation. If I'm more fluid, if I'm more mobile, water-wise, with my emotional aspects and my emotional intelligence, then I will adapt, I will grow in earth, in the material plane, and my strength and my stamina to last longer doing stuff. Every element here, every aspect of our body and body awareness and our human will influence the other one, next to it, the other one further. Air, it's your thoughts. I know it's in the heart, but it's everything around here. It's your mental aspects, your rationale. I'm not thinking, I have my background, my history, my belief system. I'm not thinking really how that has been influencing my whole life and every single one of my decisions. So we can start bringing, and we react to things. Like I said, now we experience new things, we react. So the invitation here is when you start becoming more aware of the human being, the complete, great, amazing thing that you are, you start connecting in different ways. And again, this is not simply an analogy. Yes, it is an analogy, but at the same time, and that's why I put the chemical elements, which is carbon for earth, hydrogen, which is in water, oxygen, of course, air, and nitrogen is the least related to fire, but it's the one that was left, so it's there. And why is this? It's chemical, it's stuff, this is stuff. What composes your physical body is the same thing. This is the number one chemicals of everything, human bodies, animals, plants, planets, universe. I guess there's a reason for that. So there's an invitation here for us to start reconnecting these things. And there's ether kind of lost in it. We're not going to get there today. That's like the master's series of this course. But we can always get there too. We have this concept of, well, I have to see the thing to believe. Né? Or this craziness that this person's saying, or no, I have to see. Why? Again, I'm always like trying to throw this like as an invitation. Of course, you don't have to do anything that I'm saying here, but it's tiny little changes. We can actually will propose to believe first, and then you might see. Because some of the things that require commitment, require being there, being present, you're only gonna see and understand the results of that action that you took according to your decisions. You're only gonna see it if you actually start doing before knowing. So this is a big deal in terms of the growing and understanding how much we can expend physically, mentally, emotionally, and energy. The fire, I forgot to mention, is our drive, our will to do things, right? This is, I'll say controllable. It's not really that word, but we think that, today I woke up, terrible, it sucks. And we think that's also caused by external circumstances. You were doing that to yourself. That's the fire. I can access tools through doing it the way I love, through understanding that I don't need to apply meaning to the thing before it has, to grow in the realms that we think that are too abstract. Oh no, I thought I was gonna go there to listen about how to stretch. Well, how to stretch is pretty easy. Now you can find a good professional, preferably someone that works in this method. I'm not gonna just give you a bunch of exercise, do that. Because I need to look at the individual. Each one of your patterns. That's why like the perfect physical thing that you're gonna do is those that will assess. They'll understand what individually happens. There's one, what's famous disease, name of the knee. 10 people can have that same thing. It was studied during many years. All doctors know everything about it. But every single individual of those 10 are going to have a different reaction, a different response, a different adaptation. Oh, my right knee hurts. How do I compensate? I compensate by using a little bit more of the left foot. The next person is going to compensate by doing something else, twisting with their hips. Next person is going to do something with their neck. It's always completely different because we are individual and we deal with the things using all those aspects from all layers of your being. If it serves you, maybe for a lot of these things, we do have to believe first, because this is actually a thing that will drive you to see results too. And for us to start making connect, why for some aspects seeing to believe doesn't work as well, because we need some sort of familiarity to deal with that thing. So right now it seems to me that's super far away to become a Cirque du Soleil artist, and do crazy blah, blah, blah. But I'm not, everyone that's doing the craziest stuff, the most amazing Steadicam operator that can turn around and do blah, 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 they're only doing that because they started here. Somewhere that was very tiny, that was very like small first step, a little bit of understanding how you walk, how to reconnect with your own steps and everything. So there is a beauty in believing first on this road here, and we're gonna have in all of these aspects, we're always gonna have our blind spots, right? Oh no, I think I know everything, but I want to propose here an exercise to find. Do you guys know about finding the blind spot of your eye? There's a physical blind spot, we don't see it. thank goodness, because nature is so smart that it's hidden from us because we have two eyes and because they move. And there's a relationship here with why we are things, machines, beautiful machines that were made to move. And I'm just going to show you if you want to try with me. Right eye open. Right. Yeah. You want to find the blind spot of the right eye. You're going to be looking at your left thumb, and you're slowly going to bring your right thumb to the right. So right eye open. You found a place where you don't see your right thumb, right? That's physically our blind spot of that nerve. If you do same thing opposite, I don't have a thumb anymore. Everyone, not that far. It's closer. Yeah. Go slowly. The open eye has to stay. It has to not move. It will stay in the thumb. Why? Because movement, and that's how nature beautifully built this thing. When I move, I hide my blind spot. So how does nature fixes that? It makes you move. So when my eye, if I move I'm trying to find him and I move this eye, I won't find a blind spot because the movement fills in that gap. So this is our physical, this is exactly where the nerve connects in the back of your eye. So it's impossible to have cells that are gonna receive light there because you need a nerve to take this information to your brain, right? So why am I saying that? This is, and again, for two reasons. Nature is so smart that builds it in a way that by moving, this thing's made to move. How you see things, when you're watching something, where's the first spot that you look? Everything here is still. If someone shows up, whoop, my eye goes directly there. So it's designed. So we can make so much better use of these tools that we already have. They're already here. There's a blind spot in your physical aspects. There are blind spots in your emotional aspects. There are blind spots in your mental aspects. And we can always go around because nature is so smart that builds us in ways that we can go around or fix them, right? Because there's always, what's blind spots in an emotional aspect? Let's say your mom and dad, we usually do that unconsciously. Unfortunately, we cannot fix that all at once. But we get information, how their belief system on financial situation, whatever. And now today you think, oh my God, I'm in lack. I don't make enough money. It's beliefs. It's even that looks so material. So blind spots everywhere. We can work with them as we do with our eyes. And we can grow around them. And some of them we can even eliminate them if we want. Empty our mind. This is Bruce Lee. I love Bruce Lee. And I changed one thing here now when we think about emptying to make space for the new, to grow, to expand. I usually change that to expand and open your mind because we always have, again, room for improvement. There's always space for growing. And here, when it said, I love that be water because it touches from the emotional aspects, like I say, the layers of our beings. From there, I'm going to use this word neutralize. It's going back to balance. All from our decisions that we choose based on our history, yes or no, and also from actual balancing of things. We are here. What do we do on sets? They're crazy, many hours, and I get stressful because it's like already several months on the same job. I'm going to like Maglos was like all-nighters a couple of days ago, and it's all crazy, and I'm assessing my whole system, physical, mental, through the sympathetic nervous system, which is the guy that's ready to fight or flight, the reaction. I need to be ready. Camera's ready. Whoa, I'm ready. I'm never like, now you got to take 5 seconds to go to the restroom and I'm ready again. Especially us, I know that. I am there. So we are accessing through the sympathetic nervous system, which is this guy, this camera person, this first AC. Yeah, I'm there. I'm ready before you all the time. And we have, right? They are. And we are accessing a little bit less our parasympathetic nervous system, which is your ability to chill. So breathe. It's your stomach, what it requires after you have lunch. That's why we should have a little bit longer lunch breaks. And after lunch, your stomach requires that. So stuff in everything in your body that works in this. Also, everything that takes you breathing. Ta-da! My favorite exercise that opens up every door. Breathing. So when I increase the length of my inhales and exhales, I'm not on that spot turning on more of my parasympathetic nervous system doing this. Now, bringing back to balance, I am able to recognize those decisions that I'm choosing yes or no and increasing the amount of stress in my life because I'm building the walls on the things that I identify. I only identify because of my past, that they're negative, they're going to kill me. When they're not, they don't carry the... I'm going to give you an example. I know I'm being too technical. I was this Saturday shooting this one. I was only camera operating with crazy heavy lenses, and I was doing easy rig, which is amazing. Handheld camera operating saves your life because it distributes the weight through your entire body. And then for some reason I happened to be next to the art department person. That's always something nasty was happening to her and I was there to witness. So first thing, she trips on the steps and drops one of the props. I don't know if it broke or she's pissed, but what caught me was what she said. When she trips on the steps, she said, "Oh, my feet don't work." Your feet are perfect. What's not working? It's everything that's around that circumstance. Something else probably happened before that she's already pissed. And she was wearing, by the way, that's a good example because we're going to touch on that, a crazy high sole on her shoes. It was like crazy, this big, disconnecting us from the ground where we have the feedback to walk properly, blah, blah, blah. So she trips and she blames her personal feet. I'm like, oh, that's sad. And it kind of broke the thing. Next event, I happened to be next to her for some reason. I'm like, maybe I have to use this in the course because it's happening all next to me. So she goes and talks to producer. Man, the great people that put their equipment on my couch, I have to pay $1,000. So her life is not cool that day. She's not having a great day. By the end of the day, 12th hour, she's already pissed with something else. Other camera persons next to me. She knows nothing about our department lady's day. She knows nothing. She was doing A camera. I was doing B camera. Our department, nasty mood, goes and trips and kicks her foot, the camera person. Of course she was not intentional. She was having a terrible day. Camera person gets pissed. What the fuck? You have something against me? I'm exaggerating. She was polite. But you understand the circumstance. You don't know. She doesn't know what happened the whole day. That lady was having the worst day of her life, most likely. I hope not. And this person doesn't know. So we react to situations based on whatever occurred to me at the time. So I think it's an invitation also for us to work on empathy. Everyone else on set is another human being just like you. And these things, I'm not saying this just randomly throwing, let's just be nicer people. Yeah, that too. But that is also next tool to improve your efficiency on how you're using your energy. How much more energy she threw on the art department lady by being pissed. You could just, whatever, it didn't hurt me, it didn't do anything. It didn't ruin my shot, I wasn't even shooting. Nothing happened. Why am I going to spend energy being pissed? That now new mental state that you put yourself in is going to alter your next shot. Maybe next shot was a super subtle thing that you had to be in the mood, you had to be with the character, and now you're influenced because you're pissed for something stupid that carries no meaning. And I attach meaning to that. Make sense? So there's that. We try to, little tools. This one, I don't have to label things. I don't have to wake up in a bad mood in the morning and label myself. Oh, I hate myself, I hate my life. So the more, it starts with affirmations. I know it goes to that realm of conversation of them, but yeah, it's just real. It's also physically proven. It's not just like, well, by the way, I have a theory about this, that we separate science. I do everything that I do, the study that I do, I go to neurobiology, I do science-based stuff. And we have, when I start going up in that layers of our bodies, we get to a realm that science doesn't talk about this anymore. The fire, your energy, your energetic bodies around you, the energy that you can, believe you or not, it doesn't matter. If you enter a room and you're full of, oh my God, I'm so excited, I'm going to do this, my favorite movie in the entire, I'm going to work with my favorite crew, blah, blah, blah. You carry this, you contaminates everyone around you. And if you enter that same set, life is terrible, I want to die, you contaminate everyone. So this is just real. I don't care if you need to prove and put names and labels, and that is just real. So the thing, what I like to think is, oh my God, we're separating these two things and calling this science and calling this whatever you want to say, you know, oh, here she comes, the yogini, talking about energy and my brilliant chakras and whatever. Yes, there's that. But guess what? Science knows this amount of things based on what? We have 5 senses. Vision, blah, blah, blah. All our senses, which we all work with them here in our jobs to make movies, to watch movies, to understand stories and tell our kids, blah. All our 5 senses have a beginning and an end. As you all know, the wavelengths of light, they go through our eyes, they have a beginning and an end. I don't see past certain size of wavelength. I don't see past this one. Yeah, some machines will see ultraviolet and yes, but our equipment, our scientific equipment today sees a little bit within that same limitations of our 5 senses, plus the equipment we have today, the microscope we have today. But guess what? We're always evolving. We just started here. I have a slide here. This is whole history of Earth. And of course that's a guess, they don't know for sure. We are just here in this tiny little black line here is the amount of this, comparing, like you've seen that, like, oh, if the whole Earth had 24 hours, we're here in the last second. Humans got to Earth in the last second. So we know nothing yet. At the same time, yeah, we evolved a lot, very fast and everything. We know that knowledge is an evolutionary process as everything that we learn. So we forget sometimes to think that there is this room for improvement. Where do I want to get? We work on top of our 5 senses. So science can only say something is real if it fits in today's microscope, today's equipment. Tomorrow we're going to see more things. So why are we separating this from this? You know, the energetic body, this kind of stuff, from the physical chemical process that are happening in our bodies. And there's more connection in between all these layers than our philosophy can understand today, right? Now, I'm going to invite you guys, who's okay sitting on the ground? Awesome. We could like separate these chairs a little bit. You can sit here. So now we're going to use this beautiful tool to access and realize that actually all these things, all the answers, that's beautiful. See, that's how we change educational system, guys. This is what I mean. This is what I mean. Thank you. Thank you for joining me. So now, if you can, if it's comfortable for you, back straight. For everything that I'm going to say here, physically, it's only if it's comfortable for you. If anything starts hurting, go back to the chair, do whatever, lay down, I don't know. It's whatever's comfortable for you. Please. Got it? You got that? That's important. It's only if it's comfortable for you. What happens is your brain understands this position now and it says, her base now, it's forward. So it kind of wants to bring your torso forward a little bit, because it thinks, in proprioception, and realize, oh, new position on the space. So now it kind of wants to do this. It's the coolest realization I've ever had in my life is through breathing only. I don't need to look at the mirror. You can, if you want, put a mirror here, perpendicular. Oh, okay, oh yeah, actually I could. I thought I was straight. That's why I'm saying this, because you might think you're straight right now. You might be doing a little bit of this, which is absolutely natural. So I could see it physically, or I could just close my eyes and let my breathing take me back there. Because you are equipped with this tool already. So you can close your eyes if you want. If you don't want, you can just look like 45 degrees ahead of you, whatever is more comfortable. And we're just going to notice, before we get there too, let's level our hips first. So we could be doing a little bit of this, we could be doing a little bit of this. So we're just gonna find, pelvis in Portuguese is bacia, which means bowl. Let's put some water in this bowl. This is the top of your pelvis. Put some, I don't want this water to drop forward. I don't want the water to drop back. So I go extreme just so I find that. Now I find neutral pelvis, which means your pelvis is just gonna be completely facing up, the top of your pelvis. If you're in a block, it's cool too. It just helps. It's nice to bring your knees a little bit below the hips. That doesn't matter. It just can make it more comfortable. Now we're gonna open. In a big inhale, we're gonna open our shoulder. Exaggerate just for now. And then we're gonna relax from here. We're gonna bring our chin parallel to the ground. And just a tiny bit back. The back of your head goes back a millimeter. Tiny, tiny, because we want to balance the weight of our head on the perfect structure of our spinal cord, our vertebrae. Now in each inhalation, check with your breathing if your back is there. When I let go, it's super cool. This might not come today, it's okay. It might come with practice. Your body's gonna find the perfect spot where your back is in balance because you have that tool already. So we're gonna increase the length of our inhalations and exhalation. Breathing only through your nostrils, but through your nose if it's okay for you. And where attention goes, energy flows. If I take my attention to my eyes, and I can relax the muscles around my eyes, I can relax the muscles of my forehead, my face, I can relax the jaw. Whenever I take my attention to each one of these places specifically, I increase blood circulation in that area. Physically, I'm doing that. Just by taking your attention. I take my attention out to my neck. I increase blood circulation there. Shoulders, I increase blood circulation. Also, I let it go. The only thing that during each inhalation is gonna grow up or create space between each vertebra is in your column, in your back. In each inhalation, you're going to expand the space in between each vertebra. You're going to grow up taller. In each exhalation, you're going to relax everything else. Skin, muscles, everything else is soft. If I'm not using, it is supposed to relax. The muscle that's not required for that shot, it's supposed to be relaxed. Now I can slightly, ever so slightly, activate your abs. You're not contracting them. You just take your attention to them now. You slightly activate them. What that does, because everything in our body works reciprocally, it automatically relaxes the muscles around your lumbar spine. Just slightly activate, and that also helps to bring your pelvis to neutral. Just increase the length of the breathing. Every inhalation, I increase the space between each vertebra. Every exhalation, I relax everything that I don't need to use right now. Now I take my attention to my pelvis. I can check and see if it's level. I take the attention to my thighs, knees, legs, and feet. And I relax every muscle, every piece of skin, every fluid, circulation, nerves, ligaments, tendons. Only thing that's hard and strong, it sustains you and provides support, is your back, your spinal column. That brings you back to balance. And in this moment, we're going to choose one thing that you dislike. Maybe something physical that's hurting in your body right now, if it's bothering you. Maybe it's something emotional, a relationship situation. Maybe something mental, something you've been overthinking in the past few days, weeks. Something in your energy levels. Whatever, one thing. I'm going to choose one thing that you dislike in this moment. Something that's been bothering you. We're going to look at this thing. Leave it there for a second. Feel where that is in your body. And now before we take care of that, we're going to find the edges of our bodies. Just by taking our attention there, I take my attention to the uppermost part of my body, which is the top of my head. Top edge. Where is the bottom edge? In my case, my feet. What is the edge on the most right? Further right. Find the edges of your physical body. Now, I will find the edges of my awareness. Where's the edges of your awareness? The fact that you know that you're here, that you are present, that you feel, and that you think. Now we're going to go back to that thing you dislike. It has edges because it's a thing. Even if it's an emotion, it has beginning and end. So it has edges. Big inhale. Big exhale. Now I choose to release the effort of the difference. Of the edge of this thing and my awareness. Breathe into that concept. I release the effort of the difference. Now we can slowly come back, slowly move something. Look around, see how you feel, what has changed. I see calmer faces. Feel your body coming back slowly. Who was able to find the edges of your awareness? I know it's a deeper one. Yeah, right? That's the point. So it's crazy how we can grab this, however it serves you. Maybe if it doesn't serve you, it's in a different way. Bringing yourself back to yourself. You know you have access to that. All the answers to the things in our lives, they're already within ourselves. Now that I figured out this tool to myself, I use it on set in between shots. Yes, you can sit and close your eyes. It's available. I know it's hard to believe, but you believe first and then you'll see the results. This is one tool, one example. Let's go back to, everyone's okay? It's feeling okay? All right. Drink some water. Yes.
So I guess I've never thought about the concept of the edge of awareness. So let's go over again, how do you find it? And is the point of it trying to attach it to something physical within your body so you can consciously calm it down? Is that what the exercise is about?
That's the whole point. Well, first question is, why do we need to find the edges of your awareness? That's my first question. Second point is, what if there are no edges? Because it's super cool how, go ahead, we interact with everything, all these layers of existence, right? Within our reality, which is dual. There's always the yes and no, then like and dislike, But when we expand, and that's what I'm talking about when I say there's room for improvement. We can always grow, learn more, be more, use more of the amazing potential that we are, that we have, that we are. So when I see, and that's why meditation for me is like, whoa, the number one thing to get you there. When I sit there and I start, however it works for you, you notice that there's someone, what starts happening first? Lots of thoughts, right? Oh my God, tomorrow I have to shower, I was trying to meditate. Well, I cannot meditate. That's what everybody says. Everyone, we just did it. Everyone can do it. There's no, by the way, meditation is just a name. You can just stop and breathe. You don't have to put a tag and call it meditation. It's still the same powerful tool. You don't have to put a name on that. So that will take you to a place where you start seeing that I make decisions, I have thoughts, but isn't there a little tiny voice back there that's judging you when you say, oh man, I should have gone to the gym today and I didn't go, oh you asshole. Isn't there something that's judging? That's your awareness. That's, well, the one that's calling you bad names is your ego. But anyways, this is from psychology. Your ego and your awareness is your like higher self. It's it's another tag. It's whatever name you want to put. It's this wider, infinite, I could say, understanding of who you are, which is not the thing, our bags, that chooses yes or no, I like or dislike. Even when you judge yourself, oh, I didn't go to the gym, and you're pissed with yourself, that is also based in stuff, and you're putting weight on things that, oh, just go to the gym tomorrow, it's whatever, you can always start stuff today. So yeah, the point of this exercise, and that's the coolest thing about it, is actually realize, oh, okay, I am so much more, and what if I don't have to find the edges, or what if there are no edges to awareness? That means I am super powerful. That means I can do so much more, and I can use that. Does that go near answering your question? It's a tough one. Yeah, that's the invitation. You take it if it serves you. I must say for sure with physical results that serves me very well. And I can guarantee serves a lot of humans. You don't have to tag it. You don't have to put names to it. Just try. And that's why we have to believe first, because you're only going to see it if you actually commit and do. These kind of things, they do take time. This is one of the exercises that I propose, that it is a long-term effect. So this is how I divide the structure of the course. We start, well, I already went through this, but for the course I kind of put nutrition and sleep, because that's how we access that superhuman that you can be. When you start touching these things in a super simple way, you don't have to be any special nutritionist specialist or psychologist person or sleep specialist, neurobiologist, whatever. So this is how I divide. Like to make a movie, I need the art department, I need the camera department. So human beings, same thing. I need all departments working together, working in harmony. Everyone has to be functional at the same time with their heads of departments. So I put this in perspective. We just got here and we already think we know everything. As humans, as scientific society, as community, as individuals, we think, oh no, this is how it works. Maybe not. Maybe we're still improving, right? Because we're just starting. You can always find the answers to all these aspects, how to grow in each one of them within yourself, because we are that universe. The same chemical elements there that compose the universe, the cosmos, is the same ones that compose your matter and your emotion, your everything. And the connection, to go back to the air and water, we're kind of in this thing that we are today. We are a product of our past. It's kind of weird to see from this perspective, but another look at it in a more chemical way that will maybe try to help us to open up to how we can improve. And again, it's always about accessing the full potential that we have that we're not accessing yet. We have thoughts. We start with a thought. Let's say I have a fearful thought. Oh, tomorrow, all the time, we get a bigger job, higher pay, oh, responsibility, I'm gonna die. And we always activate the sympathetic nervous system. You first worry, you first fear, because I don't know for what reason we like to go to the things that are the hardest way. We don't like to think, oh no, let's just breathe and accept that life is actually working in my favor. That is a true fact. Anyways, we think, so let's example, we think a fearful thought. Tomorrow there's a big deal job, and what happens, this is physical and chemical. I'm not going to the fire yet, I am, but I'm not going back to earth. Back to what the chemical process that happens in your brains is your neurons are going to fire, neurons that fire together, wire together. That's a common saying in their community. They only work through electrical connections. Let me show you. So this is the two tips of neurons. They never touch each other, like your vertebrae in your back. They never touch each other. There's the disc. There's a bunch of stuff in between. Neurons, same thing. They communicate through neuromodulators, neurotransmitters, stuff that we produce ourselves. I'm not going to go too technical, I promise, but it's just so we understand this. You think a fearful thought. It connects, a lot of neurons, they communicate, oh, fear, oh, let's talk about that. They group themselves in little neural clusters, and they go to your water, your emotion. Now you feel fear because you had the fearful thought based on the stuff, that external information that you got that made you think that you create that emotion. What happens, because everything is in cycles, the emotion goes back and feeds new fearful thoughts. Now we increase the neural clusters, increasing those thoughts that now increase even more your fear, sensation of fear, emotion of water. They're so moldable, né? Because they're influence each other, this cycle grows like a snowball, and because you choose to be in that aspect and see it that way, it's always a choice. It starts interfering in our physical. So most of our diseases, imbalances, are results of our past that formed the cycle that made us take the decisions that we do. So it's a whole cycle that we can start changing. The simplest way, breathing, different choices. I can start seeing things like the girl kicked the other person's feet. Oh, maybe she's just having a bad day. Why do I have to be pissed about that? Or bigger stuff on set, on the job, or stuff that you're shooting. So we are letting ourselves be influenced. We are growing the snowball of stuff that's negative to us that reflects in physical matter. And then your body starts responding with unbalanced things, disease, and etc. Within the physical awareness, the aspects that you can start today. I already mentioned some of them. Natural design of things, which I'm going to show this guy. One of the examples is the design of your tools shows already what they're made for, like our joints. For example, your arm and the femur to your hips, there are ball and socket. What the design tells me, that this thing can move this much. So we're just not moving as much as our mobility is supposed to do. You can ask a bunch of people in humanity. People they can't keep their arms straight. Here, arms next to you, if you want to try. Right? It's mobility. One of the ways is assessing to see if, do I have full mobility? When I have full mobility and I incorporate and I put together with strength, is when I start being and working and seeing the results of being more efficient. We'll get there in a second. Hinge is knees and this. It only goes up until here and here. That's it. So the design of this joint already tells me what it's supposed to do. Why do I look to, I'm not asking you to study anatomy or any of that, but when I'm doing a thing in a crazy camera position, why? Carrying load, I'm going to turn extra when this thing is not made for this, because it's not a ball in a socket. Why am I going to turn a joint that is not designed for this? This is where I start hurting myself. So what I'm trying, what I like to think here is avoiding ahead of time the need to go see the doctor. Physical therapists, how do they work? I have an injury or something, I go to physical therapy, I have to do 20 sessions. What we can do, it's accessible, is I'm going to avoid 10 or 15 of those sessions, because all their jobs is doing and rebuilding mobility and strength and stability that you were not doing before the injury. So I have 2 or 3 examples that happened to me. I fell and broke, so I reduced. I already knew one time I fell and broke my ankle, and I was shooting a series in Brazil. I went to the doctor, did the thing, and thank goodness he didn't put any cast or anything. I told my friends in a job, I said, I'm going to be okay in 7 to 8 days. I broke a bone and messed up 2 ligaments. I could not touch my foot on the ground. And I told him, I'm going to be okay in 7 to 8 days. Of course, I went to the physical therapy, did everything. But there's all the other elements that, of course, I could have avoided on the time I landed, because I am more mobile than stable. And that's where we're getting right now. I didn't allow this to activate when I landed, and then it went too much. I didn't twist to any side. I just went forward extra because of my extra mobility. So if I had it worked out before, the injury would never happen. So when we work these things together, I'm just avoiding, or if accidents happen, of course, by the time I get to the physical therapist, whatever, I already did half of the job. Just by putting, that's what you guys are going to ask when you're going to do your physical or whatever, and work with people that knows to protect and correct before developing. Because those things happen because we're unbalanced before anything. And everything that's more like a sacroiliacal joint, this, right, your sacral with your iliac bones, they are completely fixed. They do not move, but you can have injury there too by just, instead of I carry the weight and turn and do something weird, instead of being more stable, I'm just gonna, squat or whatever, being more stable. So you can always think back straight if I'm under load, and those basic things that you hear everywhere. And then we start just looking at this blueprint in childhood. Like I already said, kids are perfect. Look at them. You have any questions? How should I sit proper? Look at a 2-year-old. It's everything there because you were born perfect. We just need to open up that door to the things that we forgot. We have it all. We just forgot. Mobility and stability that I mentioned, it's not only mobility relates to flexibility, and stability relates to strength. Why it's more than mobility and stability is the group of things. Mobility incorporates it. I can be flexible and do things, but at the same time is how much of that range of motion, I should have full range of motion of everything. Oh, what should I do? What kind of exercise? That one that makes you happy, that one that makes you smile, or just by at home. Why am I always sitting in whatever chair stuff? Why don't I just sit on the ground like we just did and play with your kid or do other stuff? Change something, whatever that is. There you're going to be. You can work mobility and stability by living. You don't even have to. The activation of the abs that we just did. If you do that for everything, every single shot that you're in, I just activate. You don't need to contract it. You will never have to do, crunches anymore. Crunches, abdominal. You will never have to do that again if you are doing whatever. You can have like the strongest abs just by being aware of your abs when you need, when you can, when you have to. The moment I'm relaxing, I'm chilling, relax everything. Relax everything. Even when I'm shooting, what do? We get tense through our mental and emotional bodies that are doing that little cycle, increasing the snowball. You're activating your neck muscles. Who needs neck muscles to do this? Relax. Relax what you're not using. A super important point. In motor control, some physical therapists or professors, they'll put motor control together with stability. Motor control is simply, I'm going to give an example here, the communication between these beautiful, your neurological system to your stuff, everything else. So central nervous system is brain and your spinal column, messages and electrical information that goes through, blah, blah, blah. And central nervous system, peripheral nervous system is everything else. Every single information. If this moves, I want my finger to fold. It's because there is a electric plus and minus. It's kind of funny. I did this course online that was studying neurobiology, and it started with electrical currents. I'm like, am I in the right course? It was an online thing by Harvard, by the way. Harvard has free courses online. If you don't know, just if you're a nerd like me, you can find free course. So I was taking a neurobiology course, and it started. I'm like, am I in the right course? They were talking about plus and minus, the same stuff that's happening on those cables. They're happening in between your neurons. So most of the times it's a matter of choice how you can start sending better messages. Like this example, I can relax the muscles that I'm not using. I don't need to send information to them to contract if it's not necessary for that shot, for that decision making. It's the command. So the nervous system is everything. And that's why it's my favorite. It incorporates, it talks with everything. It's your thoughts, all those elements, water, air, thoughts, emotions, and balance. What makes you stand upside down? You don't have to do that. It's just a cool picture. But what makes us stand properly in ways that, it's not because it looks beautiful. It's because I'm going to last forever. Because I want to last forever shooting film or just living, right? So being efficient is much more balance, not only our physical balance, but the balance of everything else. How I go back and bring it back to neutral, my decision making, the parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous system. We are always, again, I'm going to repeat that, on sets. Pay attention to everyone's behavior on set. We're always ready for action. Sympathetic's right here. It's okay once you get home and then you're going to relax, blah, 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 blah. But we're not doing how many hours on set again? So how long are you staying here and not bringing it back? So this is designed to go through stress, and it's okay. It's going to release cortisol, which is the little balls in between the neurons. I do that. I release cortisol and increase cortisol, by the way. These things that we put names and call, oh, this is bad, stressful, blah, 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 is just another neuromodulator that transmits information. When you wake up in the morning, cortisol levels are higher because you need to start activity, blah, blah, blah. So again, we're attributing meaning. We're attributing positive and negative, even to natural things that you grow yourself. And those are communication. Let's balance. We have that. We have those options. Even, I'm going to repeat that, we work like crazy. No. Between takes, lunchtime, driving back home, before going to sleep. To me, one thing that I highly recommend, if it serves you, I started meditating before I go to sleep. When I wake up, I reduce the amount of hours. I'm going to mention circadian rhythms here. This is one thing that's super efficient for us because until the system changes, the system hasn't changed yet. I have to start with myself. Who's going to change the system? Us, right? So I have to start somewhere. System's too crazy, 12-hour work, whatever, more than that. So how do I adapt for now until we have a better thing going on? I started meditating before going to sleep. When I wake up, meditating is so useful, as I hope you felt, some of it at least, that you can reduce the amount of hours of sleep. Because you are, if you are consciously doing that too, and making it go back to unconscious, you are turning off the things that need to be turned off more efficiently than just by sleeping. Because sleeping, those things are all firing and wiring together still, believe it or not. Aren't you dreaming with the stuff that you don't like too? Maybe yes, maybe no. The neurons are still doing the same thing while you're sleeping. That's why like trying to disconnect, even trying, you don't have to accomplish right now. It takes time. Even trying, you regulate. So I regulate my circadian rhythm. We can talk about that all day and say, oh, 8 hours, perfect for humans. But again, humans are individuals. We're all different. Einstein required 10 hours sleep. Tesla, I love them both, those two. Tesla, 2 hour, 3 hour sleep. I don't care, they're smart the same. But they're two completely different individuals, right? Balance. So balance is all of that. It's not only carrying a camera prop. Aline, this is too complicated. You're going too far in the physicals and we're not doing this. We're shooting film. I know. The baby steps is wherever you are right now. It's on what you're doing right now. And why this works, that you can decide, well, what's my biggest goal? I want to do like the whatever biggest goal you have in your life. Have that image in your mind. But then I start from a 1 and 2. Why? Because that beautiful nervous system that we're talking about is gonna design the rest of it. I start the pattern as we've been done with the asymmetrical weird stuff that's bringing disease and imbalance to our bodies. I start a new pattern by opening up, room for improvement. I start a new pattern by showing my body, my physical, mental, emotional body. First and second step, it's gonna design the third, the fourth. It's gonna do for yourself. Like the breathing. When I bring it back to conscious, naturally you will be unconscious again. And then you're more efficient like this. As long as you commit. And some things you're gonna repeat more than others. Like, I'm more mobile than stable. I need to work on more on my stability. It takes time. Now, your neurological system is going to design the rest, as long as you present to your system the good pattern. Physically, that's like the most beautiful thing. The moment I had an example that I used to chew only on the left side. Because of dental whatever, I got into the habit. I could have trained myself to chew. And everything in your body, if you go to a doctor, you have a knee problem, you go to a doctor, he only looks at your knee, run away from this doctor. Because everything happens influence. If you have a problem here, most likely it's because you're doing something here or here. It's an adjacent joints that will reflect on the place. I have a problem here. It's most likely because you're doing something whatever else that reflects there. Number one. When I see myself as a global thing, and now I can work on all of that, and I can redesign patterns to start working in a more balanced way in all realms. I take the first, second steps, my body is going to design the rest. For whatever it is, go back to our relationships, to our emotional intelligence, same thing. I change patterns in terms of, I've been training this a lot. I wake up in the morning, my day's gonna be perfect. I know it sounds like the yogini again, right? Oh, here she comes, the bright chakra. I just woke up, I changed the affirmation. It's the craziest job, the highest, like a famous person that's big pressure. My day is gonna be awesome today, because that famous big deal, whatever, is just as human being as you are, as the director is, as your boss is. So let's just touch on the feet. On this, I teach this 2-day workshop on body awareness. We go through every single joint. We assess and we check how we are, what we're doing, in order to start working on in the physical area, in the physical patterns. I just would like to mention feet because we are bipeds. We are beings that walk on feet. And this transfer, your connection with earth, the matter element, is everything through your feet. The responses, I'm walking around with the camera. Where is the most important feedback coming from physically to go towards a smoother shot? It's from my feet. The moment I did the switch, I'm not recommending, it worked for me, and it's something, because I studied this thing, I say, I'm a biped. It makes sense that I understand the feedback of the whatever type of ground that I'm stepping on to improve everything else. Isn't what is that, Chinese medicine that they do everything? Every single thing, every single organ, is in the soles of your feet. That makes by the way, Chinese medicine, they make a lot of sense. If you're geeking out, like it's crazy cool. So by assessing and understanding what we're doing, the restrictions, it's more simple. I know it sounds like, oh, she's like a dog. No, just walk. Your next walk that you're gonna go tomorrow for a block or two, just pay attention to your walk and try to put equal pressure in all corners. That's only that. Maybe I'll take off my shoes, and maybe on the next walk I'm gonna put pressure equally in all parts of the soles of my feet. What I understand by doing that and bringing back the awareness, the attention to what's happening there. When I bring back where attention goes, energy flows. Then I improve my awareness. It wasn't conscious the way I was walking till yesterday. Now I make it conscious, reassess the pattern, fix the pattern by distributing more smart, and then it becomes unconscious again because I did that enough times. How that worked with me, I just start going for walks in the morning, and then I just pay attention that the fact that design itself tells you the heels are made to absorb impact and the toes are made to impulse. And that's why it's designed this way. So the moment I start paying attention, you're going to see one of the biggest answers that I got from myself, from paying attention to the walk, is I was never using my toes for impulse. Go in an uphill and actually take your attention to all your 10 toes and actually use them for impulse. You're going to change the 12th hour shot if you put the attention up. Now it has to become conscious for a little while until you start doing this again unconsciously. And now I use a lot more my toes for impulse without thinking in the middle of the shot. So now my shots are more efficient just because I stopped to pay attention to my walk. I'm already walking. You don't have to do anything new. You already have the tools. Makes sense? Yes, I hope so. So next time you go for a walk, just those simple things. Distribute the weight, full sole. And that what led me to change the type of shoes that I wear. I used to wear stuff that would separate me from the ground a lot more, whatever that is. And I just reduced that, and now I feel more of the ground. In the beginning, of course, transition has to be slow. Your body it's not going to learn that big of a change from today to tomorrow. People, when they started doing barefoot shoes, guys went to, oh, that's good. Those are good for me. I'm going to run a marathon, 10 kilometers, and they call the company and sue them. Guys, let's be smarter. Now, we are smarter than that. We can use our brains and see that these changes require commitment. Go slow. So I used to work first period of the day, camera operating. I feel more on my feet. I would wear them only if the floor there's more texture. I'm at the beach. I'm at the climbing rocks or whatever. When it's like this, I would put back my cushion because my body's used to that. Because I told my body that cushion was good. I wore cushion my entire life. Now my body is adapted to that because I gave my body the steps. Now it changes slowly. I used to do that, blah blah blah. At some point, it doesn't hurt anymore. Because now, by removing cushion, now you use the muscles. You strengthen the muscles of your feet. The feet are like the most perfect thing. This is like the craziest amount of bone, the biggest amount of bones, tiny little bones together you have in your ankles and here. That's why these joints are so cool and important and efficient. And we can access and do so much more. If you just by sitting like that, I'm going to rest for a second. You're improving ankle mobility. If you're not there yet, just start seating like this, or like this, or like this. Just within a break and whatever. You start improving your mobility, you're going to see results in everything else. Your neck and all. Oh yeah, I was going to give the example. I used to shoe here, and then in yoga when I was doing like the chair pose, why do I always have to fix my knees? One is a little bit in front of the other. What is that? And then I heard a conversation with my cousin with her dentist. They were talking about how your jaw influences everything in your body. And I was like, cool. I am open. Room for improvement. I opened myself to new information. So I go, but that's me. I tested. Oh, actually, and I practice every single thing that I'm going to eat now. I'm going to spread equally through both sides. I look next class. Oh my God, my knees are in alignment. I didn't have to think. It was in line. But I doubt. By the way, this is something I ask you. Don't trust me. I'm not like delivering this to you by my ideas. This is the truth. Because for everyone it works different. So if you don't trust the information, go check for yourself. And then if it works for you, you're going to use it. If it doesn't work, you don't use it. That's a very important aspect. Then I didn't trust it. Nah. Maybe it's not related. And then I went back to chew, but just because, of course, I wouldn't do this on purpose, but my mind was already accustomed to showing one side, and I didn't think of anything else again, and then it went back naturally because I conditioned myself to do that. Now, next few classes, I check again. Oh shit, my knees are already in balance. Then I go back again to spread the chewing. Oh, now it's in. Now I know for sure. because I have this a little bit of a scientist mind. I need to know hypothesis, I need to prove and prove and prove, and then now it's true. So I did do it. I had to do it several times. Now if that happens to you, now you know this, it's actually related. So the feet. Answers are there, and it's just the fact of restoring natural function. We already have. We think that we're consuming energy. So I need to ingest energy through food or whatever, and I'm gonna spend energy. By the end of the day, oh, I'm tired, I wore off all my energy. But we have to remember that this thing is an energy generator. Like you grow up new neurons, you do a bunch of stuff that we're not aware of. We are also energy generators by your thoughts, your belief systems, what you eat too, but how you manage these things through your acts, how you interact with your relationship with your environment, with people, with the job and everything. So yeah, I just want to remind ourselves that we have this. We are energy generators, and our hips are the basis of this. Where do we generate energy? Mostly it's in the whole trunk. The basis, these are members, right? They're here to make us move, to balance us and make us and everything. But this is, and that's why water is here. It's the center of your emotions. Back to mobility and stability. There's, again, you can do it just by sitting differently. You know, now I can improve hip mobility just by seeing, oh, how much internal rotation I have here, external rotation of this femur. How much I can turn without keeping this butt down, do this, stupid things, so I can do this when I'm watching a movie at home. You know, bring on, maybe I'm gonna check my, this is hip mobility. Hip mobility is how much you can, because we're used to seating and everything 90 degrees, this wants to live in 90 degrees, and then now you're sending a message to your brain that this is optimal. So it wants to stay here. Now it's uncomfortable, anything else. And the moment we use more, that we have this ability to go anywhere, be in different positions, and all that. When you use more of that, your brain understands, oh, okay, she's doing that, that might be useful, so I'm gonna adapt and live with that. So that becomes an easy thing, it doesn't hurt anymore. I sit like that 2 hours and I'm okay. But because I did enough times, slowly at a time, etc. When we sit, what happens is where is the center of gravity of human bodies? Around this area, right? And when I sit, I have to transfer. And what happens is your torso goes forward a little bit. Now, in this case, for the Steadicam operators in the room, now I have my being, the mass of this being is a new thing. My center of gravity is now transferred forward. My mass has improved forward. So now I can move this thing, transferring the center of gravity, and then I'm under load. What do I want to be more efficient for my back? Back straight. So I don't need to do much of the hinge anymore. So when you're carrying load, you want, it depends. Like I said before, it's more, for a full-time thing is activating. It's different than contract. Contracting, I'm doing it right now. I could punch here, it's not gonna hurt because I'm actually contracting. That's what you do when you're doing the exercise, blah, blah, blah. When you're living, doing things, moving cameras, activate. Just turn it on. Do you feel it? Try it right now. So there's contracting. I need to put energy there. And if I'm activating, I can activate and keep talking to you, do things. What happens? This works for many things. One of them is super important is when I'm doing like whip hands or crazy golfing, that kind of thing. When I activate, this is so much more efficient. You're never gonna hurt your back or do stuff because you're activating your abs. You asked if I'm activating when I'm going up with the camera from the seating position. Yes, if you can remember, it's the same system. It wasn't conscious, we're not, most likely. I make it conscious and I activate consciously. Then this starts happening unconsciously again. That's the coolest part because you're going to be super efficient without thinking. And when I use, in this case, I have the Steadicam, you can use the equipment to transfer the center of gravity. Now the weight of itself takes me there. We can grab a case. Of course, the design of the thing is going to define how you do it too. But I can always look for ways of, first of all, bringing the center of gravity of the thing closer to my center of gravity is what we do with Steadicam every time. and then I bring back. I don't have to. My back was always straight. I don't even, the thing becomes lighter. It's kind of cool how that works. And I wanted to say that because this example of, this is our famous deadlift, as you know. So what do we do? Back straight, back straight, back straight. If you don't see or perceive that yet, just look at the mirror. The moment is still straight. That's, of course, if I have the ability to decide the height of the weight that I'm carrying. If I don't, then I go to squatting. Squatting, then now I'm using the knees and I'm using the muscle strength of my thighs. But when I do deadlift, for everything, I'm gonna grab this thing, back straight, back straight, back straight. Then I'm saving, even my knees hurt, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, today, because we're not watching them. But if they are hurting today, I can save a little bit of my knees just by, how do I do an efficient deadlift? I just know that your center of gravity is here. And then I just bring it back, 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 back straight, back straight, back straight. The moment your back starts curling, that's the limit of your height if you're training at home and if you have the ability to decide the height of the thing. Now, if I'm on set, I don't have the ability to decide the height of the thing. The moment it starts curling, I squat. Simple decision. If you change that one thing from now on, superhumans, hello. So I'm going to choose what if I'm carrying the kettlebell or whatever, doing the exercise, and preferably the center of gravity of the thing, the closest to my center of gravity. Back straight as long as you can. This is Beck's amazing Steadicam operator from New Zealand. You see that, I just want to show this picture. Everyone there, what's common to every human there? Amazingly, their backs are straight. They're doing all kinds of craziness everywhere. Their backs are straight. That is a reflection of body awareness. Nobody's thinking, hey, let's keep our back straight while we're trying to grab that. No. It's already being aware of the efficiency. How much more efficient can be my body by training? Of course, those guys train a lot. And she, of course, she's finishing a run or something. She's breaking. That's why the knees are this way. And she operates pretty well. This is a picture. But she's ending the movement and breaking. Who have seen the toe touch, the forward folding, right? It's a pretty common one that it just shows us that the more you can, if you can wake up every morning and just do that, just bend your body in the middle. I don't need to say anything else. Who here thinks you are like super tight? Oh, I could never touch my toes. I'm gonna show that. Because it's cool to explain windows of opportunity. Who of you guys think you are super tight? Oh, I'm tight. I cannot touch my toes. Anyone wants to?
I can touch them, but
are you okay to demo?
Huh? Demo. Okay, let's go.
So what happens is we think, this is our little brain, the limbic system of our brain. The first information comes to the limbic system, it reacts in terms of, I just want to make my person survive. So everything, my hand goes closer to a warm stuff, poof, it removes right away. That's the limbic system response to stuff that might risk the life of this being. So we tend to think, oh, I am tired, I cannot do this, my hamstrings are tight. I hear that all the time. Most of this movement is motor control that we mentioned before. So you are just sending electrical messages from your brain to tell this thing to be tight. It's not really tight. And ways and how through physical therapy or other things you can access and open up that's why they call windows of opportunity. And sometimes you're going to see, like in other physical therapists' Instagram, oh my God, miracle, person's immediately cured. No, that's a window of opportunity that I send my brain new message. Now I work on new patterns on top of that. And then slowly you're going to develop that ability. It's not like, oh, it just happened in move. One of the good, and we always demonstrate that because it's cool. And try to touch your toes just by bending from the hips. So this is his height, cool, cool. And even if you're already touching the ground, you can improve your mobility plus stability with these 3 little commands. So, and this works for every time you're gonna carry a case from now on to thinking that you can move the center of gravity back. So we're gonna do together just several of this. Okay. I'm gonna send my center of gravity back with the back straight. Hips back, hips back, hips back. Several times. What am I doing? Just sending a text message to my brain. Hey, man, it's cool to do this. I can do this. Because we tend to forget when I try to do this, my center of gravity didn't go back. Because my brain didn't have access to that before because of my previous patterns that we've been creating as humans, right? So I forgot to send this message. So now I'm just sending a, hey, I can actually bring center of gravity back. This is the first one. Second one, we can tell our brains that you can curl from the top, from the cervical spine. I can curl one at a time. It doesn't matter where you go until round it down. Doesn't matter where you go. You just want to really round it. Think of a big curve in your back, and we do that slowly several times. And bring that up. Inhale to bring it in. And then slowly exhaling, just curling. Very rounded back. You can round even more here, as much as possible. We're just telling our brains that our backs can be round whenever you're not carrying load, preferably. So at home, why not, do stuff? So move round and round, I tell something. Now, other thing that highly influences how you use, because we have the planes of using our muscles, right? What's going to make me strong in this plane is also being aware of this plane. So these guys, they work by releasing. So we're going to do that around here on top of your, around this area on your knees. Mm-hmm. And then turn to the side, the whole thing with your feet. Mm-hmm. Now you're really going to press the ball like you really want to squeeze, like you want to... Okay. And then you try again, do your forward fold. Pressing, really pressing the ball. Just do a regular, try to touch your toes. It's pretty close because you didn't do that enough times. Yeah. So that's a good example how the message you got, to open up that window of opportunity, you got to send the message. Enough times that you can try it at home too. Yeah. Enough times that you do this, as I can send my center of gravity back. Enough times. Do it several times, round and round, and then pressing here. You go a lot further. For those next 10, 15 minutes, I'm not saying, do those 3 things, and now you are forever, you can sit. Thank you so much. But it's important because what you see on Instagram is an example. Oh, miracle. But no, that window of opportunity was open to communicate with your brain for the next few minutes. Now you're going to do your new patterns, be it your exercise, operating cameras better, being more aware of yourself on sets and what you're doing. Now you save that pattern. The more you attach to the next activities after this window of opportunity, efficient patterns. Now you save that file where it matters the most. To both guys, the one that actually thinks and rationalizes, your prefrontal cortex that makes decisions and knows things, to the limbic system that only makes decisions based in survival mode. That's why you think your hamstring. This is one example. For everything else in your body, there's that. This is what the corrective exercises do. They will open up those windows of opportunities so then you can present the new pattern and work more efficient. Just briefly to finish here, what I talked about, the design, well, there's a reason why your guts just look just like your brain. We have huge concentrations of neurons. Before, we used to think, neurons are only on my brains. They're the biggest concentration of neurons in your bodies: air, water, earth. They're in your gut, they're in your heart, they're in your brain. So that relationship with the elements goes really beyond. But here is just like a simple decision. I'm not going to tell you what to eat, none of that. But we know that we have 100 trillion bacteria as roommates. We know already what's good food, and we know already what's bad food. Stuff, fried stuff and good stuff. You know that. Nobody has to tell you that. We are making the decision of choosing this or that. So these bacteria, the same way in our dual world, they are good bacteria and bad bacteria. Now, let's put the good here on the side and the bad on this side. The moment I make my choices, who am I feeding the most? The bad bacteria with the bad food? Bad bacteria eats bad food. Good bacteria eats good food. The moment I make this choice, I'm multiplying the equivalent bacteria. What do? They also communicate through the neurons in our bodies. They communicate. So what you, in a way, yes, we are what we eat. It's based in our decision. I'm just going faster with this now. But it's easier to just try to make new choices. And the regulation of circadian rhythms, it works with stuff that we already work with. The wavelengths of lights, the more you expose yourself to the beautiful sun rising, sunset, it's regulating your nervous system, and then it regulates your sleep patterns, it regulates everything by consequence. That's why all the movies that sell the most, their posters are always yellow and blue. It's communicating with the same system. It's the turning off, turning on. So we go out and we just see natural light. You don't have to do anything crazy. Just look at the sky by the sunset, sunrise. You're already regulated, and among of other many things. In yoga, when we finish a series of exercises, what's the last pose? Shavasana. You just melt on the ground. What is that? If you don't practice yoga, is the time to go to bed. Now is when your body is assimilating, saving everything that you've done that day, including you repeating your belief system and everything, and those systems that snowballs, those negative stuff, you're feeding that to your system while you're sleeping. That's why the change, just change your mind. Oh, tomorrow I'm going to change. Instead of waking up and thinking the day is going to be terrible and how I'm going to pay my bills and whatever, it could be the craziest situation. Tomorrow morning I'm going to choose different. I'm going to choose be cool. So if you could get just a few things from this whole thing, just breathe. You don't have to know any technique or anything. You could, breathing exercise, there's plenty, and they're all good. But if you just stop to pay attention to your breathing, you're already accessing, turning on that key to improving efficiency and stability and everything. Feet, actually feel and use them. If you choose to do so, you're going to see results in the whole, everything else. Stabilize the torso is the angle that we worked on our pelvis. Relaxing the shoulder, relax the muscles it's not required for the next movement. Relax. And this thing is heavy. So when I said bring this horizontal and tiny little bit back, it's because humans, we work everything in front of us, right? Computers, driving, filming, everything is in front of us. For no good reason. This thing is heavy. The millimeter that you go forward, you're unbalancing cervical spine. So driving is the best moment that I always remember. It's a tiny bit back. Also part of stabilizing your torso. Relax what's not being used. Change one thing. Choose to change one thing today. Maybe increase your room for improvement. And by doing that, yes, it's all about the individual. It has to start with ourselves. Naturally, the results of every single thing of the cycle of actions, the decisions you make will affect everything around you, your environment, people around you. I guarantee you, I apply all this in my life from the past 12 years. It does bring results. I know there's so much more, but quoting our beautiful friend, you cannot solve a problem with the same mind that created it. That same old pattern, the past decisions, everything, the cycles that formed you is what's influencing every single one of your decisions. When we change, you can start with your mind. Change one thing, then you'll see. But first we believe, and then we'll see. And that's it for today, y'all. So if you guys are interested in the future, I already gave you the information. I have some more stuff that maybe I didn't say here on this YouTube, Aline Balesteiro. That's the Instagram. So of course, in 2 hours, we don't have enough time. This is obviously a thing that you really need to go deeper in if you want to. It has to be a decision. Cool. I hope you use that somehow. Just breathe, breathe, breathe. Thank you.